right.
Well, hello there, heroes. I just got back a little while ago from the gym. I have a very good pump going right now. And for anyone that lifts weights and knows that feeling of when you walk out of the gym and you just feel like you did the work and you can feel that muscle group that you did and you're tired, but it feels so rewarding and the endorphins are flowing. It is just a fantastic feeling, and I'm here for it today. I'm very, very glad that that is the mood and the approach that I'm coming into to talk with you this week. In fact, I was at the gym this week, and there is a person that I see there pretty often. His name is Mike, and he's been weightlifting for a really long time. And he's just one of those guys that's, you see moving through the gym, and he's very humble, and he's always willing to talk to someone or give them a hand or something, even when you can tell he probably just wants to concentrate on his workout. And he's just always so generous with his time. And today he walked up to me and he asked me how I was doing. And I let him know that while I was working out, and it happened a little bit last week as well, but really pronounced this week, my left shoulder has been bothering me, specifically when I'm doing chest exercises, like bench press type things and, just anything where I'm using my chest. All of a sudden, this shoulder starts to hurt. And he gave me a few tips for stretching and for doing some different things, which I really, really appreciated. But he said something that I thought was so insightful to what I want to talk to you about today. And he was telling me that, there's good pain and there's bad pain. Like, are you just overtaxing the muscle and it feels like it's tired? Or does it feel like something's wrong and you should stop doing that for a little while, figure out what it is, take it easy, and then move forward after you adjust and make some changes? And that could not be more perfect of an example of what we're here to talk about today. And that is unproductive versus productive pain. So just like the example that I gave, when you are lifting weights or something, you know that there's going to be pain involved of some sort, whether that's tiredness or whether that is working a muscle group that you haven't worked in a certain way before. And there's some what are called DOMS afterwards, delayed onset muscle soreness, that lactic acid buildup that happens sometimes when you haven't worked out in a while, or you haven't gone for a run in a while and your legs are kind of sore for that next 2 to 3 days and it kind of peaks and then it falls off. That could be classified as an example of good pain. You are doing things to your muscles in order to have them grow. And what's happening there is you're actually breaking down the muscle. You're overtaxing a specific muscle group or set of groups in order for them to ultimately be damaged in a controlled certain way, break them down, and then to allow for the process through nutrition and rest to grow back stronger than they were before. And that's something that people that lift weights know very, very well, or people that are runners or bikers or anything like that, that there's going to be the buildup, the breaking down of the muscle, but then there's going to be the repair, the nutrition and the rest and things like that that are involved with it. Now, that's an example of productive pain. That's something that you actually might do on purpose in order to reach a goal that you want to do with physical fitness or something like that. But there's also unproductive pain. And in my example, doing it purposefully to a muscle group can actually be productive for you. It gets you where you want to go. But a lot of us indulge in unproductive pain. And I say the word indulge not lightly. Unproductive pain is pain that you are going through that is completely optional and is also not giving you the result that you want. For instance, an example of unproductive pain for me would have been for a long time, especially when I was younger, of over drinking. If I had over drinking throughout the week, I would get to the point where every morning that I was waking up, it would take me multiple hours in order for those toxins to be out of my system where I could be productive again. A lot of people call that a hangover. And as I got older, it gets anyone else who's gone through their 20s already into their 30s and 40s knows that that starts to get diminishing returns for you. And so I was waking up in the morning, and like several hours of my day, whenever I overdrank, I have anxiety and racing thoughts, and I would not have had a good night's sleep and all these things. Now, every once in a while, if I'd been the kind of person that did that every once in a while, you can kind of take it in stride probably. But if it's something that I was indulging in over long periods of time or almost on a daily basis, then that unproductive pain, what I just talked about with having a hangover or being slow or foggy in the morning, or weight gain that comes with that, your metabolism slowing down when you get older and it doesn't process it as well, so a lot of it goes to fat. All of those things on a daily basis, it's like you have a rope with an anchor tied behind you, and no matter what you do, you always have that anchor there, so it's harder for you every single day to get started and to make progress. It's just that much harder every day, and it compounds over time. Anyone that knows anything about compound interest knows that how it can build over time if you invest, even if it's a small amount, by the time you get to a certain point in time, it's paid off for you. And it's crazy how it grows and grows and grows and builds on each other. The same thing can happen with unproductive pain. If you have an activity or you're involved in a relationship or you are a seller and you're not picking up the phone and prospecting and calling, or you're not reaching out to people if you're an entrepreneur and telling them about the thing that you're building and asking them if they would like to do it, if they would like to have it, and telling them how to do it and how it can help them. If you're just hiding, that is unproductive pain. And then you start beating yourself up about it, and you're not out there and you're not doing the things you're supposed to do in order to get the results that you want. That's unproductive pain. You're putting yourself in a situation in inaction where you're not growing because you have that anchor tied behind you. And so what you want to do is you want to start to train your brain to realize as you're walking through your life, okay, is this pain that I'm doing on purpose so that I can grow and get a better result for myself, for my business, for my family, for my relationships? Or am I indulging in unproductive pain? Again, that word indulging, because of the fact that even though we don't think that we would ever choose to be in pain, because our brains are hardwired to go seek pleasure, dopamine, and to avoid pain at any cost. This is how we evolved. And now in current situations that we might be in, our brains are still hardwired that way. So when we have productive pain that we want to do, like to grow our business, picking up that phone or DMing someone and asking them if they want their service or how you can help, like it can feel scary, it can feel painful. And the remedy for that, the remedy for unproductive pain, so that you can get out of that pain you might be indulging in, is courage. It's the courage to be uncomfortable, to be choosing productive pain, which would be to pick up that phone. It's a little bit painful. To send that DM, it's a bit painful. What if they don't like me? What if they reject me? What if I'm embarrassed? All these things that your brain's trying to protect you from, that it thinks are just pain and we should do something else. But really, it's exactly the kind of pain you want to embrace in order to grow. Otherwise, you're going to have the dreaded thing that all entrepreneurs, all sellers, all business owners do not want, which is to become stagnant, to be in a state of not growing when you could be growing if you just use some courage in order to move forward. Embrace being uncomfortable. Embrace that productive pain in order to get where you want to go. So you start to see what I'm moving at right now, if you're listening to this, is that there's two kinds of pain. You get to choose which one that you want. And if you want to refer back to a podcast that we've done in the past as well, there's another one where we talk about you get to choose your pain. A lot of times in life, you get to choose whether you want to be in pain for a short time in order to reach a longer term result or goal for yourself, like lifting weights. If you want to be able to be stronger and you want to like the way that you look when you take your shirt off for summertime on the beach or whatever you might want to be doing, there's pain you have to go through that you need to choose to go through. And short-term dopamine that you're choosing to not have be so much better just to eat a cookie or go lay on the couch or not go and come up with excuses than to be in some temporary pain right now and then get to the long-term result that you want. And our brains are so sneaky. They will come up with all kinds of rationalizations of why we want to stay out of pain and why it's okay for us to indulge in unproductive pain. But your forward part of your brain, it's what makes us so amazing and distinct as humans, is that we can learn to forego that short-term pleasure in order to get that long-term result that we want, that helps us grow, that helps our business, that helps us make more money, that helps us deepen our relationships, to help us put in the work, put in the pain now to get the result that we want. So there's those two kinds of pain, unproductive and productive. And for me right now, one of the things that I need to do in order to get out of my unproductive pain of specifically my shoulder is for me to rest more and for me to concentrate on my nutrition and for me to lift less heavy weights and do some different exercises in order to build that muscle up, allow it time to heal. And that's something that I want to point out as well, is that a lot of the people that listen to this podcast and that I work with and that are in our storied coaching programs as well, they're very high performers. They're high performing sellers. They work in pre-sales or training and enablement, or they're entrepreneurs or coaches that want to build something, and they have a drive, and they were very high performers. And so there can be an element to that kind of personality type, and I know this because you spot it, you got it, and I definitely have this as well, is that we want to always be going, always be pushing forward, push through the pain, which if it's unproductive pain, okay. If you're just pushing through the fear of picking up the phone or starting a conversation with someone that you think might benefit from your service or your solution, okay, great. But you don't want to push through the kind of pain that's going to cause you to get damaged. If there's some pain somewhere that needs to be thought about and addressed, especially if it might be burnout, or you might be doing something unproductive like over drinking, the example that I used, maybe it's time, if it's not getting you result that you want and over time it's tearing you down and holding you back, maybe it's time to stop doing that. Stop doing those exercises. Don't push through the pain. Allow time for healing, for rest, for reflection, in order to gather your strength and come back even better than before. So that's an aspect to productive and unproductive pain that can sometimes be confusing to people, especially high performers, because we've been told so many times we just need to keep going, push through it. Don't be a baby. Don't complain. Okay, but there are times when rest and recovery is the most important thing that you could do for yourself. Being kind to yourself so that you can ultimately get to where you want to go. So I want you to keep that in mind as well. You don't always need to be productive. Sometimes the most productive thing you could do is to rest, is to stop doing something that over time, that may seem like a small thing, but over time is actually holding you back. It actually is unproductive to push through that pain. So that's something I want to leave you with as well. So what we've talked about today is how your brain can identify those two types of pain. Productive pain that's leading you to growth, and unproductive pain that's leading you to becoming damaged, that's leading you to stay where you're at, spinning, indulging in confusion, indulging in fear and scarcity, instead of picking one thing and just doing it, picking up that phone, sending that DM, going ahead and working on something that you know is going to grow your business, even if you're not sure if it's going to succeed or not. Even if you're fearful that this might not be the ultimate way that you get to where you want to go, you have to try it, measure it. Did it work? Did it not work? Either do it more or do it less or stop doing it altogether. So that's what I want to leave you with for today. And thanks, Mike, for pointing this out to me today, that there's the good pain and there's the bad pain. Do you want to push through it because it's just taxing your muscle? That muscle could be your business. You want to push through that fear to get to where you want to go? That's one thing. But if you're pushing through something that's painful or doing something that's ultimately going to damage you, maybe it seems so innocuous and is small right now, but over time, it's going to grind you down. You need to reevaluate whether or not it's time to stop, rest, get some mental nutrition, figure out if you need to change what you're doing so that it's not damaging to you, and then move forward. All right, my friends, that's what I've got for you this week. I want you to have as much growth as possible. So I wish you productive pain. I'm not sure if a coach is supposed to say that, but I'll be damned if I don't wish all of you the most productive pain so that you can grow and get to the hero self that you want to be as quickly as possible. All right, so here's to being uncomfortable and growing. I'll talk to you soon, my friends. Bye for now.